Latest football news,
engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Hello and welcome to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio's Fridays at 5 p.m. with me, George. I hope you've all had a good week. I hope you haven't had too much snow because where we are recording, it is a winter wonderland out there. I think we can say it's pretty much white as I look out of my window right now. And well, this week I am joined by our resident Ipswich fan. He's promised me that he's going to try his best to be positive, even though he can't. But it is Dan. Dan, how are you doing this week?
I'm not doing too bad. I doubt this pod will be very positive, but yeah, I'm doing okay. Still a bit down about the result on Tuesday, really.
Yeah, we will get on to that a little bit further in the show. But before that, I then mentioned the social medias: Twitter at Pitchside Talk, Instagram talk_pitch, YouTube and Mixcloud at Pitchside Talk. If you want to listen back to any of our previous shows or any other additional content, yes, maybe there might be some more stuff being uploaded. Keep an eye out on there. Make sure you subscribe to all that. Well, what's coming up in today's show, as Dan's already mentioned there, we're going to be talking about Ipswich Town. We had a double bill, yes, Blackpool and Peterborough. Saturday was good. Tuesday's a little bit worse. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. The Premier League was back. We had a big moment in the title race and the FA Cup fifth round. Yes, we had some friendly matches in the FA Cup fifth round. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about Ipswich Town and the highs and lows of this club.
stay up to date with the latest footy news.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Hello and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio's Fridays at 5 p.m. with me, George and Dan, as always. And before we move on to the show and talk about Ipswich Town, we better mention the social medias: Twitter at Pitchside Talk, Instagram talk_pitch, YouTube and Mixcloud both at Pitchside Talk. If you want to listen back to any of our previous shows. Now, Dan, we've got a big elephant in the room. It's Ipswich Town. It always is a big moment here. And we've got to start off, really. We had a double bill. We had a game on Saturday and Tuesday. And before we move on to Tuesday's game, we better mention Saturday's game. And it started off a busy week of football with a 2-0 victory over Blackpool, thanks to Judge and Wolfton's goals, seeing Ipswich Town get their first win at home of 2021, their first since December the 15th, beating Burton Albion. Paul Lambert made 2 changes from that draw against Crewe. 2 massive drops. Chambers and Edwards were both on the bench, but Matheson and Troy Parrott both made their debuts. And these guys here played very well. Looks like they breathed a fresh life into the side. But Dan, I think we could say an impressive win here by Town. Something we've not said in a long time.
No, it was a much better performance. We haven't seen it in so long. Good result against Blackpool. It shouldn't really have taken this long to get the win that we needed. I think it's the first home win this calendar year. Shouldn't have really taken us that long, but I was pleased with the result. Didn't really change my thoughts on the club, but it was really, really good to see. Matheson came in. He looked really exciting. He's a really exciting player. He's an attacking fullback, which, we haven't had since Kane Vincent-Young went out, and well, that was a year and a half ago now. Both of our fullbacks look really good against Blackpool, which is great to see. I was really surprised to see that Chambers was dropped for this game. I thought he'd be a nailed on starter all season, but he's been in such poor form recently. So it was good to see a change, and Matheson looked to breathe a bit. It was a bit of something new to the side. And Troy Parrott as well. I think he looks really lively up front. He looks quite strong. He looks quite sharp on the ball. I like the look of him. He might not have scored yet, but I think that goal's coming for him. He looks like a really good striker. So some good signs from this game, which we needed to build on. I thought Judge had a good game. I said on Twitter before the game, why is Judge starting, as I do pretty much every week, and he proved me wrong, didn't he? But yeah, we needed to build on that result. But as we'll get onto now, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yes, Ipswich Town didn't build on that result from that victory on Saturday, ending a blip. I think it was on about it was set in the press conference on Friday. Yes, they need to end a blip. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, it's going to make you angry, but they said they need to get over this blip, get a win. They got a win, but they fell short once again against promotion challenging Peterborough, who beat them 2-1 on the night. 13 points in the last 10 games, Ipswich Town. 14 defeats in the last 29 league games. Yes, I've just said that right. 14 defeats in the last 29 league games. They lost 9 games versus the top 7 this season, Dan. And just the miserable run just keeps continuing here for Ipswich Town. And it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, it's Groundhog Day, isn't it? You know, we beat a team below us. We go up against a decent team in League One, and we just show nothing. It's getting ridiculous now. You know, we come up against Peterborough. They're in the top 6. They score for fun in this league. You know, you need to actually show something. We scored in the first 5 minutes. We looked okay in the first 5 minutes, but apart from that, they were just better than us on every area of the pitch. You know, it's, this result, the result and the performance just frustrated me. And you know, I was fuming after the game. I'm still frustrated now because it's just all the build up to the game. You know, the players and the staff. I think Judge before the game said this is a must win. We have to go and win. It's really important. But then we go and perform like that. You know, it's just so frustrating. As you said, it's now 9 games against the top 7, lost 9. You said 14 defeats in 29 league games. This is in League One, don't forget. We're now 9 points off 5th place. You know, it's just a disgrace, isn't it? It's unbelievable. You know, I saw someone tweet this on Twitter. Our promotion hopes are now banking on us finishing 6th. You know, a lucky 6th place finish. That is what our promotion hopes are now, it seems like. And that's just pathetic. We can't, in League One, with the team we have, with the squad we have, which I still believe should be fighting at least in the playoffs, you cannot be trying to get a lucky 6th place finish. It's just, I cannot believe how, like, why does this club not have any ambition anymore? You know, we used to be a club with so much ambition, but now it's just gone. I don't know what has happened and why Evans and Lambert think that what we're doing now is okay. You know, even if we did miraculously finish in 6th place, which that's the most unlikely thing in the world at the moment. But imagine us having to play whoever finishes 3rd. You know, we haven't beaten a top 7 team. I can't even remember the last time we did. You know, we can't crumble under a feather's weight of pressure. So there's no way we'd get through it. So basically, I just don't understand what Marcus Evans is waiting for. You know, and then to top it off, we lose again, playing awful football, and Lambert doesn't even come out and do the interview afterwards, which, you know, it's just ridiculous. We have a manager who, you know, he's banned local media. He's changed a winning team after Saturday, loses to a better side and goes into hiding. And then he'll just, you know, walk back into the training like nothing happened. This club, it's a joke and I'm fed up with it. Rant over. I think I've got to calm down a bit.
Yeah, I'll talk for a little bit. But yeah, as you said, the highest, well, if it's just do finish 6th in this current table, they'll play Peterborough, who currently sit 3rd. And the highest placed team Ipswich Town have beaten this season is 8th place Acton Stanley. Yikes.
Yeah, there you go.
But going back to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the lineups were revealed and 4 changes were made from the winning side on Saturday. Yes, Chambers, Ward, Bishop and Norwood in. Mathson, Kenlock, Sears and Thomas out. 2 of the youthful fullbacks who helped Ipswich Town get that victory, gone. And I heard a comment from Paul Lambert a long time ago that you need to play very well to keep your place in the side. 2 players play very well. Out. But finally, Dan, I think we can sort of say this, 4-4-2 finally being deployed it's finally been used. 2 up top. It's only taken half the season to get there, but we got there in the end. It only lasted until half time, until James Norwood went off. But the biggest news was really the fullbacks, the youthful, energetic, and really helped us just get that victory. Luke Matheson and Miles Kenlock out, the experienced Luke Chambers and Stephen Ward back in, and it didn't really go to plan really for them.
No, it didn't. And I just do not understand this decision. Why would you change a winning team when we're coming up against Peterborough? I just don't understand why you do that. You know, we performed well on Saturday. He changes the system and players. I don't really think it was a 4-4-2. You know, I think it was it was more of a diamond, wasn't it? 4-1-2-1-2. It was so narrow. You know, I just don't understand it. The thing is, everyone knows you don't play a narrow system against Peterborough. They have two really good fullbacks. They use the wings. That's what Peterborough do. But he decides to play narrow, which puts all the pressure on our aging fullbacks who are both 35 and are completely out of form. Does he want us to lose? Like, why would you play that formation? It is baffling to me. You know, we've been screaming out for 2 up front. Finally, he does it. But he still doesn't play 4-4-2, which is the most simple system that would work with our squad. If you had Kenlock and Matheson in the squad for me. But anyway, I just don't understand. I don't understand what is going through his head to pick that. You know, I just have no words. I don't know what goes on in that man's head. And I saw something on Twitter the other day. I didn't realise this, but Burton at the weekend, they beat Hull 1-0, which means that bottom of the table Burton have you know, won more games against the top 7 than we have in the last 2 seasons. I just look at that and it's embarrassing. Does Marcus Evans look at that and think that is acceptable? And then it always happens when we go into a team that are doing well. We just, you know, he chucks in random players. He changes system. Just keep the same team. After you win a game, you keep the same team. Fair enough. He's tried to keep the same team before this, you know, throughout the season, and it hasn't worked either. But we won the game on Saturday. You don't change it. And if he comes out with that excuse that Matheson and Kenlock needed a rest, I don't buy it. They're fit enough. They're young enough and fit enough to play Saturday, Tuesday. 2 35-year-olds. Stephen Ward hasn't looked the same since he's come back from injury. He's been awful since then. Chambers, you know, his passion is second to none, but his quality is gone now. I don't think he can really give anything to our team anymore. But yeah, it's just embarrassing. And you probably heard, you know, they did a piece on Talk Sport. I don't know if you heard it. I think Adrian Durham, his name was talking about us. He put it perfectly. We're a team that have no connection to the fans. We have no identity. He said that's the kind of stuff he said. You know, he said that us fans, we don't expect to have a team that are, you know, winning promotions every season or being a top side. We just want a competitive side. We want a manager that is passionate and honest to us, and we want a side that win games, and we're just not doing that. And the run of form that we're on, it's unacceptable. I'm starting to lose interest with it all. I really am.
Yeah, there was a big thing I heard on another radio station that apparently Ipswich fans call up to, and they said that they wouldn't be surprised that hardly anybody buys season tickets next year for Ipswich Town. The way it is going at the moment. But it's back to the lineup. Do you feel that the lineup and playing style was overthinked a little bit? Because on Saturday, the 4-3-3 worked. It worked very well with the fullbacks and a bit more energy and a sort of mobileness to that side, help them in attack. But, you know, they kind of gave, you know, they don't get 3 points. And Lambert's changing that system up again, and it doesn't work. You know, there's no continuity in that side. But this is like the Lambert from last season. He's constantly making changes and they're not working. but he gets a winning formula and then he changes it all up again.
Yeah, he does. As I said before, you just don't change a winning side. I just don't understand. We've played this 4-3-3 system. Well, I think it's 4-5-1 system all season, and finally we get a result with it on Saturday. And we we performed well with new signings, and he just changes it. I find it absolutely baffling that a manager would do that. I think any manager out there would agree that you don't change a winning side. And we could see what was going to happen when that team came out. We all knew what was going to happen in the game. We're the most predictable side there is at the moment. Teams it's easy to see how we're going to play. He tried to change it up. Completely wrong in my opinion, coming up against that Peterborough side who like to exploit the wings. It just put pressure on our defence. The goal that they scored, all of our players were out of position again. Chambers was nowhere to be seen. Ward was like in front of McGuinness. It's just embarrassing to watch, and it hurts to watch us at the moment. But yeah, he tried to change it too much. As I said before, you just need to keep it simple. I really just think a 4-4-2 would work with our squad. It's a simple thing. You probably don't want to play Dazella in a 4-4-2, but you can't play three central midfielders anyway. So I'd put Downs and Bishop in there. Two up front, Norwood and Parrott, if Norwood isn't injured. It's simple. Just use that. Don't try and do these, special systems trying to get results, because it's never ever going to work. Just, keep it simple. If you're in a bad run of form, put two up front so you can actually score goals, even though we don't really create anything. We didn't create anything with two up front anyway, and see how that goes. But yeah, he's either going to revert back to this 4-4-3 system that leaves our striker, completely isolated, or he's going to keep changing it again. And either way isn't going to work. So where do we go?
Yes, where do it just go from us? Well, Peterborough was the 25th game Ipswich have played the season, and 10 defeats from this season as well. And last season was 12 defeats in all the seasons. Now 13 points off first place. They're more closer to 17th as currently Shrewsbury Town, who are 6 points, and only 15 points off the relegation zone. But Dan Lambert, he didn't do his interview, as you mentioned there. Somebody who doesn't feel the pressure, he didn't do his interview, which is a bit weird. But Taylor, he said that the draw would have been fair from the game. I don't think you really agree with that.
Absolute rubbish.
But with games coming thick and fast, we've got 5 back-to-back games coming in a row now for Ipswich Town. That is Saturday to Tuesday. 10 games in 31 days. They're not going to be out the limelight. This could get quite messy, I think we can say.
Yeah, it could. So many games in a short amount of time. It's not something I'm looking forward to. But going back to them comments, it's getting laughable now how everyone at the club thinks we're doing well. It just seems that way, that apparently we're putting good performances. I think as fans, it hurts when you have to watch, awful performances every single week, and then Lambert, or in this case Taylor, because Lambert didn't have, someone who doesn't feel the pressure. He after a loss, he doesn't go and do the interview. That's a disgrace in my eyes. But they come out with comments like that. We're fed up. The fans are fed up. The players look fed up. Even I don't even think Lambert wants to be here. Marcus Evans, just sack him. Do the inevitable now that there's time for our season to change. Just sack him, please. That's what we want. But who cares what the fans think? Marcus Evans doesn't care. But yeah, we got so many games coming up in a short amount of time. we got Shrewsbury at the weekend who beat Sunderland, and did they beat Peterborough? I think so recently. So
Ooh, I'll check that one out.
it might have been or another team at the top anyway. So it's a tough game, and then we got Saturday, Tuesday. It's such a the schedule is so tightly put together that I'm not confident at all going into these games, and I really don't know where we're going to go from here. And it's completely depressing that every single game we go into it knowing what's going to happen. There's no ambition, as I said before. There's no plan. There's no future plan at this club, and we're just the club's just going to just sit here and rot as long as Lambert's here, because he can't do anything with the squad. If he's not gone, then we're just going to stay in this league, aren't we? We'll just stay here as a mid-table League One side.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might be happening. Yes, you are correct. Shrewsbury did beat Peterborough not so long ago. I think the last 4 games they have beaten them. But Ipswich Town are away once again, looking to bounce back from that defeat against Peterborough. And today's opposition is Shrewsbury Town, who currently sits 17th in League One, 10 points from the last 5 games, including the win against Peterborough and Sunderland. Yes, they beat Sunderland last time out. But Dan, since Ipswich Town beat Shrewsbury back in November, Shrewsbury have got 22 points from the last 12 games. Ipswich Town, in that same amount of time with 12 games, have only got 14 points. Ouch. But Dan, can Ipswich Town get back to winning ways? Possibly go 1 point off 6th place. I know that sounds a big thing here, but they could go 1 point off 6th place. Or Shrewsbury going to continue this brilliant run that they're on and just, like we say, cause more misery for Ipswich Town, because it's getting miserable now.
It is. I just don't know what to think about this game. Obviously, Shrewsbury, they've got on a really good run of form recently. But I go into every game now expecting us not to get a result. And it's the same with this one as well. I just don't expect us to get anything from it, because what I've seen throughout the season and the end of last season as well, it just doesn't, I'm not confident going into any game. So I would predict, I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'll be 1-1. I think it'll be another one of them games that, it'll be us not really creating anything, Shrewsbury not really creating anything. It'll just be a stalemate. And I think it'll be a 1-1. And then people at the club will be positive about it, of course.
Well, Dad's going for a 1-1 draw on tomorrow, actually. It's tomorrow. What do you guys think? Let us know on Twitter at Pitch I Talk with your score positions for Ipswich Town and what should happen with Paul Lambert and the Ipswich Town side, because unfortunately it's still getting a bit miserable. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Premier League. And this week in the Premier League has been a title deciding game, I think we can say on here.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Hello and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio's Fridays at 5 p.m. with me, George and Dan, as always. And before we move on into the next section of the show, talk about the Premier League, we've mentioned our social medias, Twitter at Pitchside Talk if you want to listen, or if you want to actually follow us and watch our match previews. Yes, we do match previews for every single Premier League game, it's a town game, and maybe some other games like the Champions League. Keep an eye out on there. Instagram is at Pitchside Talk. I don't know, talk_pitch. I'm losing it. Talk_pitch. YouTube and Miss Cal both at Pitchside Talk if you want to back to any of our previous shows or even this one. If you've missed anything in the show, don't worry. 6 p.m. at Fridays when this show is finished. That'll be going out if you want to listen to Dan's absolute rant about Ipswich Town. It's worth a listen. Listen for it then. But this week in the Premier League has been a title-defining week in the Premier League. I'm just going to quickly read through the results. So it was a 1-0 victory to Aston Villa over Arsenal. Burnley drawed 1-1 with Brighton. Newcastle won 3-2 against Southampton. A 0-0 draw for Fulham and West Ham. A 3-3 draw between Manchester United and Everton. Tottenham won 2-0 against West Brom. Wolves drew 0-0 with Leicester. Liverpool lost 4-1 to Manchester City. Sheffield United lost 2-1 to Chelsea, and Leeds won 2-0 over Crystal Palace. But Dan, Manchester City, they have potentially put one hand on that Premier League title this season after a 4-1 victory over the current Premier League champions Liverpool, ending a 17 winless and a year drought at Anfield as well in the process. But Dan, Man City 5 points ahead now in the Premier League title as Manchester United draw to Everton. I think we can now say this is theirs to lose because they've got a game in hand as well.
Yeah, it's if they don't win the league now, then I'll be very surprised. They're looking so good at the moment. They're scoring goals for fun. I said to you before the show, didn't I, that I didn't even realise they'd only conceded 14 in the league all season, which is that's a really good result. And 5 of them were against Leicester. So yeah, they're doing fantastic in the league. Maybe they were helped a bit by Alisson in this game, but they'll take the 4-1 win at Anfield. And it's going to be really hard to catch them up now. I think it wasn't that long ago. I think at the start of the season, they were well, I can't even remember what position they were. They were 10th or below, I think. But we were saying that Pep's job might be in a bit of danger, but he's turned it around really well, and they've got a game in hand. So as you said, it's theirs to lose now, definitely.
I think they were 13th at the time, and I think Pep. I think if I remember correctly, Pep hadn't signed a contract at the time, and we were sort of saying about hasn't got a contract.
Yeah,
Man City's going to possibly look to get rid, but he signed a new contract and brought in John Stones and Ruben Diaz, and Man City started to click really. And I think you're right; it is theirs to lose. Yes, they've got a game in hand over Everton, which is happening on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll bring you up to date with that game in next week's show. But moving on to another big winner this week, Chelsea, 3 wins in a row under Thomas Tuchel. I think the first 3 wins in a row since October. Tuchel's won 3 out of his 4 first Premier League games as Chelsea boss. When he came, they were 5 points off top 4 under Frank Lampard. Within 4 games, 1 point now off top 4. Looks like Tuchel's got this Chelsea side working well and playing well with players who underperformed, I think we could say, this season. Timo Werner has now really sort of come to life. He isn't scoring goals, but he is helping a lot with that Chelsea side. But down here, players who have struggled under Frank Lampard are now firing under Thomas Tuchel. But I think we can sort of say here, so far so good for Tuchel. But I think now they look like they could be in prime position to take that top 4 spot now.
Yeah, they're looking really good as well. They're having a real resurgence under Tuchel. I think I was a bit wary of him coming in. He's done well at clubs in the past. He's done well at PSG and Borussia Dortmund, isn't it?
Yes.
My European football knowledge isn't the greatest, but he's done really good jobs at other clubs in Europe. I was a little bit wary because he hadn't had any Premier League experience, but he's had a fantastic start, hasn't he? At Chelsea. It's quite mad how a different manager can change things so drastically, because they look completely different now as a team. And as you said, some of the players that weren't really performing under Lampard are now looking quite good again. So that's good to see for them. They're only 1 point off the top 4 now, and with teams above them, some of them not getting results. I think they've got every chance of getting in the top 4 this year. I think it'll be really interesting to see if they can carry on this run of form. But yeah, they're looking really good again now, and it will definitely be interesting to see. And I hope he does a good job, because I think he's a good manager, and that's a good fit for him, that Chelsea job.
Yeah, it seems to be working very well at the moment. And moving on to the biggest losers this week, and Liverpool. Liverpool, it looks like their title defence is over after Manchester City dealt a killer blow to them as they capitalised on 2 Alisson mistakes. Yes, the goalkeeper that doesn't make too many mistakes made 2 blunders in, I think, a few moments or something like that, losing 4-1. It's the first time in Premier League history that Liverpool have lost 3 home games in a row. Yes, that is right. First time in 3 home games in a row they've lost. But Dan, they're 27 points worse off this season than they were last. Last season, they ran away with the league. They won it by Christmas, I think we can easily say. Now 27 points worse off this season. But I think we can sort of say, how's this gone so wrong for Liverpool? Because the team that they have and the players they still have in their side, I know they're missing key players here, they should be easily, we could say, fighting for the Premier League, and they're not. And at the moment, top 4 here is not guaranteed with Chelsea's recent form. West Ham are in the mix, and Everton as well.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't know what's happened with Liverpool. Obviously, the injuries have affected them, of course. Van Dijk was absolutely crucial to their season last year, and that would have, him being out for so long, that's gonna affect them. But as you said, they've still got a team of players that can fight for the title. That front three is still fit, and think about how well they did last year, how amazing they were. Salah and Mane and Firmino, they were just unstoppable last year. So it's weird to see that form has just disappeared all of a sudden. I really don't know what's going on. Is it a confidence issue? I don't know. They may have lost a few games and their morale's down. But they should be doing better than they're doing. And this win for Man City, it puts them further off the top, and it's going to be difficult for them to win the league this year. I really can't see it happening. Two awful mistakes from Alisson. Actually, I think it was 3, because at first Jamie Carragher started screaming or something, didn't he, in the background? I don't know if you heard that.
Yes, that was correct. Yeah, I think it's 3, but I think it's sort of people saying it's 2 because it didn't lead to a goal straight away.
No,
but then it did.
But that was funny hearing Jamie Carragher make a weird noise. But yeah, don't know what Alisson was doing for them. I've never seen 2 mistakes pretty much the same. That cost 2 goals. So his confidence is going to be down now. So yeah, the only reason I can think is confidence issues, because their squad is good enough. So it's just a really weird situation for Liverpool at the moment.
I think the one concerning thing is, we can all agree with is Roy Keane said that at this rate, it's going to take them another 30 years to win a title if they can't defend this. And do you think that's sort of true? That they sort of think they're going to walk away with things, but it isn't happening? Because they come into a game and they don't seem to perform.
No, he could. There could be some. He could be right in that. I don't think it'll be quite 30 years, but I think where they are now, they've had 2 seasons. I know 2 seasons ago, Man City were with them. It was really close at the end, but Man City got it. But last year they ran away with the league. I don't think they're used to being in this fight. It's been a few years since they've really been fighting in this top 4. So, that might be having an effect as well, that they're so used to winning every game and being top of the league that they don't really know how to perform in these tough situations. But I don't know. You can't really say that they're not going to win the league in the next 30 years if they don't win it this year, because we've seen this season and it'll be the same with seasons in the future. You can't predict what's going to happen, because I would have said. I think I said that. Actually, to be fair, I think I said Man City were going to win the league at the end of the season, but I definitely put Liverpool really close to them. I never thought it would be this big of a gap at this part of the season. So, you can't really predict what's going to happen. But yeah, I think after this season, Liverpool fans, they won't be happy.
Yes, you can't predict what's going to happen this season, because this season has been absolutely crazy. And when we come back, we're going to be doing a very quick roundup on the FA Cup 5th round. So stay tuned.
The best place in Ipswich to hear the latest football debates, Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Hello and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio's Fridays at 5 p.m. with me, George and Dan, as always. And now, before we move on, talking about the FA Cup 5th round, I better mention the social medias and not muck them up this time. I'll try my best. Twitter at Pitchside Talk, Instagram Talk _pitch, YouTube, Mr. both at Pitchside Talk if you want to listen back to any of our previous shows or even this one if you missed Dan talk about, well, actually us talk about the Premier League. Dan have a massive rant about Ipswich Town. Don't worry, 6 p.m. On Friday. They will be out, so about a few minutes away, I can say. And now we're going to move on into the FA Cup fifth rounds. Yes, this week we've had the FA Cup in the midweek and we've had 5 Championship teams and the Premier League teams battling it out for a place in the 6th rounds of the FA Cup. And now, firstly, Manchester City. They put their place into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, beating Swansea City 3-1. Nothing sort of special, really, in that victory. You'd think Man City would win that. But in the process, they beat an English football record on Wednesday, setting a new record for successive domestic wins by an English top flight side of 15 in all competitions, beating the record by Preston North End in 1891 to the 92 season and Arsenal in 1987 to 88 season, who both set 14 wins in a row. But Dan, that record there, that's pretty special to beat. And what a moment, really, for Manchester City. They've now put themselves into the history books here.
Yeah, that is just a mad record, isn't it? And it's weird to think that this season of all seasons that would happen, because this season has kind of been a bit mental, hasn't it? It's been really unpredictable with teams, not expected to be up the top and results that no one was expecting. So to see that Man City have done this in this season, it's really good to see, records like this still being broken.
Yes, it's quite interesting as well. Well, now moving on to, I think, the most thrilling game of the FA Cup. Everton versus Tottenham. And Everton reached the quarterfinals for the first time since the 15/16 season, after they needed extra time to find a winner in a 9-goal thriller. Yes, a 9-goal thriller. It's 5-4 to Everton. I think, firstly, Everton, a big moment for them the last few years. They have strolled in the cup. I think the furthest they've made in the last 4 years is the 4th round of the FA Cup. But, Dan, the Ancelotti revolution looks like that has sort of now come into full swing here, because if this was Everton of old, it wouldn't have happened. Seeing them fight to the end. But with Ancelotti there and that sort of motivation, this could be quite a big moment for them, because the last time they beat Tottenham in the FA Cup, they went on to win the whole thing.
Yeah, a big result. I'm not going to say that they're going to go and win the thing, because there's still, Man City in it, Chelsea are there as well. So, it's going to be difficult, but what a result for them, and what a game as well. We all love a goal fest in a game, and was it 4-4 at full time?
Yeah.
And Everton won the game in extra time. So yeah, what a game that is, and I'm really excited, and it definitely, piques interest in the FA Cup again, because sometimes the FA Cup can be, looked upon as not really important, but magic of the FA Cup strikes again with another really good game. But yeah, I think Everton, they'll be confident that they can go far in this competition, and this win only cements that, I think.
Yes, it looks like it does. And for Spurs, yes, Spurs were the unfortunate ones here to get knocked out in this thrilling game. Suffered a damaging blow after 3 successive defeats in a row. They looked to sort of build on that after a 2-0 victory over West Brom on Sunday, but silly defensive mistakes cost Spurs here really on the night. And the wait for an FA Cup success continues. But for Jose, this is a big blow, really, because I think we said here the FA Cup was a competition that we could say Spurs can win this season. I think we were sort of saying Spurs are favourites to win this competition. Jose likes a cup competition. They need silverware. Good opportunity for them, really.
Yeah, it would have been, and yeah, it's really disappointing, because their season's kind of gone downhill, hasn't it? They were doing really well towards the start of the season, but that's kind of dropped off. And you'd think that if a team's not doing good in the league, they'd want to go on a cup run, but that's ended now. So I think that's really disappointing for Jose and Tottenham. It's not really looking good for Tottenham in general at the moment, is it? They're not getting results in the league. I know they beat West Brom recently, didn't they? But they're not really playing as they should be. So yeah, massively disappointing for Tottenham. As you said, they probably would have been one of the teams you'd expect to go all the way.
Yes, and before we move on, we must congratulate here Bournemouth. They beat Burnley in the FA Cup on Tuesday, 2-0. And for the first time ever in their club history, they booked a place in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. I think what a moment really for them, because they've had a tough time recently. They sacked their manager, Jason Tisney. He's gone after a 22-year association with the club. Relegated from the Premier League, sort of looking a little bit lackluster at the moment, Championship. But a cup run can do them well to good here.
Yeah, what a result for them. And it's really good to see a Championship club doing well. And Bournemouth is always a club that I've liked. They're kind of the story of being down in League Two not that long ago and managing to get up to the Premier League. So it's really good to see them going on a cup run. I think I don't know who their is their assistant manager. I think it's Woodgate, isn't it? I heard something about Woodgate.
Yes.
I'm not completely sure about that, but he's come in and he's doing a really good job. I think he's won. I can't remember how many games, but he's done a good job. He's got Bournemouth to the next round of the FA Cup. So what a result for him. And I know Burnley aren't doing great in the league at the moment, but it's still a Championship club beating a Premier League club. So good luck to them. Let's see who they get in the next round.
Yes, I think you are correct. Yeah, Jonathan Woodgate is the caretaker manager at Bournemouth. It'd be interesting to see who gets the job because he did have the Middlesbrough job.
He did, yeah.
Long ago. And we all know how that ended, unfortunately. But yeah, that is everything for the FA Cup. And when we come back, we've got enough time, I think, Dan. I think we've got enough extra time here to do a football roundup.
Pitchside Talk, footy debate from the Premier League Outback.
Hello and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IRL. It's Fridays at 5 p.m. with me, George, and Dan, as always. And before we move on with the show, I've been mentioned social medias, Twitter at Pitchside Talk, Instagram Talk_Pitch, YouTube and Mixcloud, both at Pitchside Talk. Make sure you subscribe if you want to listen back to any of our previous shows or even this one. If you missed anything, don't worry. Fridays at 6 p.m. it will be up, and it'll be up in a few short minutes. But Dan, we've got a little bit of extra time, and we've got a little bit of time here for a bit of a football roundup. Hey,
Hooray.
I love a bit of a football roundup. And do you want to go first this week, or do you want me to go first? It's your choice.
You can go first this week.
I'll go first. Right, and I've got some news for you. The Newcastle striker Callum Wilson has now been ruled out for 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. A big blow for Steve Bruce's side, describing it as losing 3 players, including your centre forward. That is a bitter pill to swallow. That is going to be massive for Newcastle, as in the Southampton game. They lost Cam Wilson, they lost Mankio to ankle ligament injuries, and Fabian Schär to a torn knee ligament as well. So it's a big blow to Newcastle, and that could be a very defining moment in their season. But we'll have to wait and see. Dan, what news have you got for us this week?
So I haven't got Ipswich news this week because nothing's happened, but I have got some Liverpool news. So Liverpool have been ordered to pay Fulham record compensation fee for 16-year-old Harvey Elliott. So, well, he's at Blackburn on loan at the moment, isn't he? But Liverpool signed Harvey Elliott for around 750k, weren't it? In compensation. But they're set to receive in the region of 4 million once add-ons are met. That is a lot of add-ons.
That's a lot, and that's quite a lot of money, really, for somebody.
It is a lot of money.
I think he has just turned 17, but that's quite a lot of money for a 17-year-old.
It is. Yeah, madness.
I have to wait and see if that's worth it. And that is everything for the football roundup this week. Dan, you can join me for next week's show when we'll be talking about this down again. Unfortunately, we can't escape them.
No,
they're just there. They're just there.
So
all that.
I'll be here next week as always.
As always, that's always good to know. Good to know he's still contracted for another season. I know. Yeah. Rest of the season, and then we need to start discussing another season, don't we, Dan?
Yes, we do. It's getting close to that time again.
Yeah. Well, at least we haven't got a budget cap to work with this time, so salary cap.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that could have been one of the news things.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
about that. Oh, there you go. The salary cap's been scrapped.
Yes, been scrapped in League One and League Two. And what's coming up after us? Well, we've got the Gap Year show 6 until 7, the Review show 7 till 9, and Flip the Switch 9 until 10. And make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram, which is Twitter is at Pitch I Talk. If you want to follow any of our match previews we do for the Premier League Ipswich Town and other additional content we do as well. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram, which is at talk_pitch. YouTube, it's called both at Pitch I Talk. If you want to spec any of our previous shows or even this one, they'll be up in a few minutes' time, Fridays at 6 p.m. So we'll see you next week. I've been George. He's been Dan as always. We'll see you next week. And ciao.
Bye.
The whistle has been blown for full time. Tune in next week for another jam-packed show.